All right. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're on time now. Welcome, everyone. My name is Joshua Revord, and I'm the Director of Port, Inlet, and Beaches for St. Lucie County. I'll be the moderator for today. I just want to thank everyone for attending. I'm glad that we have a good breeze today and we can relish in the success of the project to date. A little bit about why we're here. You know, really, from staff's perspective, this is an opportunity to showcase the partnerships that are associated with keeping our shorelines nourished. As you can see, and all these folks here, it takes a village to keep a shore protection project going. And when we talk shore protection, we talk about storm damage reduction and what that means to our community, protecting property and maintaining our property values. It's protecting tourism to ensure that St. Lucie County continues to have these end destinations for residents and visitors to enjoy. And it also improves our recreational space, which ultimately leads to a quality of life. So all of these things are things that we look at to ensure that these projects become a priority. Today we're in a great space with our shore protection projects. We recently completed our federal project down south, our coastal storm risk management project. Manson Construction helped us with that. We're here on a partially complete federal project, Fort Pierce, and the hope is to continue through this project through our season and to complete that. But we also have other projects that we have with the Corps of Engineers, and I really want to underscore this. It's not just shore protection, it's inlet dredging, it's also C-23 and 24 improvements. So our relationship with the Corps of Engineers is multifaceted, and it spans a lot of the areas in St. Lucie County that lead to a quality of life that we expect. Just for identification purposes, we have a lot of people here today. I'm not going to mention everyone, but we certainly have representation from Representative Mast's office with Derek Hankerson. We have Colonel Booth, Commander, Jacksonville District.
Bowman.
Oh, Bowman. Transition. We also have a couple county commissioners here as well. Chairwoman Jamie Fowler. Erosion District Chair James Clasby. Commissioner Kathy Townsend. And a whole bunch of city commissioners as well. And I appreciate everyone's attendance because we all share in the benefit of this project. So I appreciate you being here. The last thing I'm going to showcase is the history of this project, specifically Fort Pierce. This project is a chronic problem that we always try to address because of the impacts of our inlet. And our partnership with the Army Corps of Engineers is invaluable to allow for us to continue to place sand here at this beach. So much so that the county has pursued additional modifications to this project to lead to our extension of our relationship into the future with T-groin structures. And that'll be our future challenge, and I'm happy to report that that'll be something that we'll be embarking on very soon with the approval of an agreement with the Corps of Engineers to start the design phase of that project. So that's something that we're going to look forward to in the future. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pivot. We have a couple people that like to speak, and I'm first going to offer up Derek, if you'd like to say a few words on behalf of Representative Mast. No comments. Well, I did have a chance to talk to Representative Mast this morning, and he informed me that he was greeting the king. And so I told him that that was a sufficient absence. So he sends his best to everybody, and he's an instrumental person in making sure that this project happens. So thank you to him and his team and everyone that's involved in making sure the funding and the appropriations for this project take place. We're going to go ahead and pivot now to District Commander Colonel Bowman for a few words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be here on the beach out here in St. Lucie County, city of Fort Pierce. I'd like to thank our host, Josh Rivard, Director of Port, Inland, and Beaches, for bringing us all together this morning. It's a privilege to be here alongside him and also a representative from Congressman Mass's office. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to recognize our vital local partners, Commissioner Jamie Fowler, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Commissioners James Gladsby, representing District 1, and Mayor Linda Hudson. Your leadership is instrumental in projects like this. If I learned in 2 years of being district commander of the Jacksonville district, is that all this big civil works type projects is a team sport, and it takes everyone rowing together at the federal, state, and local level. So thank you all for your support with this project. This project represents $15 million investment, putting over 400,000 cubic yards of sand on this beach at the tune of 78% federal cost share, which is great for the county here. And to put that in kind of terms that folks can understand, 400,000 cubic yards is about 40,000 dump trucks loads worth of sand being placed on this beach to renourish it. This project became a federal project in 1971, and since then, this is our 14th renourishment of this beach. And in those 14 renourishments, the Army Corps of Engineers has placed 7.1 million cubic yards of sand on this beach. And again, to put that in kind of terms that folks can understand, that's a football field nearly 3/4 of a mile high in sand we have placed on this beach to renourish it. But before I get anything else, I want to talk about two most common questions I get asked. One, is your uniform hot? Yes, it is. But this is our summer weight uniform, and I actually can feel the breeze blowing through it, so we're not suffering too bad, and it keeps the sun off of us. The second, why is there a person in camouflage fatigues standing before you on a beach in Florida talking about beach renourishment? That's a great question. So back in 1824, when Congress passed the Rivers and Harbors Act and the General Survey Act, really first time formalizing civil works in the United States, the only school in the country at the time that produced engineers was the Military Academy at West Point. So the only federal engineers Congress had to turn to was in the United States Army. And for the last 202 years, the Army Corps of Engineers have been executing civil works projects on behalf of the nation and taxpayers. Something we're very proud of and something that your Army is going to continue to deliver for you moving forward. This beach is going to provide not only tourism, as Josh talked about, but also it's a storm risk management. So when these big storms come in, we can reduce the impacts to the community. And when those impacts are felt, the community can recover much, much faster than they would have without projects like this. So again, we're very, very proud of all the team members who've been here. Our PM, Jim, who oversaw this project. This is kind of his baby. It's one of the nice things about our PMs. They get very wedded to these projects. And being the 14th time renourishing this, we're getting very, very good at doing these types of projects. And I want to thank everyone for coming out here today, and thank you for supporting projects like these. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Bowman. Next, we're going to see whether or not Commissioner Jamie Fowler would like to say a few words. Thank you, Jamie.
Good morning, Josh. Thank you. I don't think we could have asked for nicer weather today. So we stand here today on a shoreline that is more than just a beautiful view. It's a vital line of defense for our community. This marks the 14th major renourishment since 1980, proving that our commitment to this beach is as persistent as the tides. By strengthening this shoreline, we are directly reducing potential storm damage to our homes, our businesses, and our infrastructure. To truly appreciate this milestone, we must look back at the history of this land. For thousands of years, sand moved naturally along Florida's coast, flowing from north to south through a process called longshore drift. That changed in May of 1921 when the Fort Pierce Inlet was officially cut to marry the ocean and the Indian River. That project led by developer and Crayola inventor Edwin Binney, transformed this area into a hub for commerce and military training. But while the inlet created a gateway for recreation as we know it today, it also created a physical barrier. Because of the jetty, sand traveling from the north becomes trapped, and it builds up against the north jetty, but can no longer make it south over to nourish the beaches here on the south side. These projects are about more than just moving sand. They're about correcting a man-made imbalance to ensure the long-term resiliency of our coast. Without regular renourishments, the inlet would continue to claim the shoreline south of the jetty year after year. I want to extend a sincere thank you to Congressman Mast and his partnership, his steadfast support, and the additional $2 million in funding secured this year. I also want to recognize our Ports, Inlets, and Beaches team led by Director Josh Revord for their tireless work. This is truly a 24/7 operation. He does not sleep while this is going on. And finally, thank you to our boaters and our residents for your patience and support during these round-the-clock operations. The sand is back, the beach is restored, and our infrastructure is protected, and today Fort Pierce is stronger. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jamie, and I couldn't have said it any better. Finally, my words are resonating in the minds of everyone around me, so it's very good. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to go ahead and invite Commissioner James Clasby up, the chair of the Erosion District.
How are you guys doing? My name is James Clasby. I'm one of the newer faces to the Board of County Commissioners, but in this short time that I've been on the board, I've been the chair of the Erosion District, and it's been quite the education to learn about all of the different coordination that's involved with this project on the federal, state, and local level. And I don't want to repeat everything everybody else has just said, but what a wonderful day here it is in St. Lucie County. Can you believe it's only 53 days till summer? So just once again, I want to go ahead and repeat that this beach means a ton to our area in terms of culture and tourism, and it's a vital resource for stormwater protection during our storms. The coordination and relationship we have with the Corps is just invaluable, and we really do value it at the county. And I look forward to longer-term solutions that are currently working through Congress on addressing the beach renourishment for the next 50-year cycle. So thanks, everybody, for being out here.
Thank you, James. I'd be remiss if I didn't invite Mayor Linda Hudson. A little bit about our partnership as of late. You know, we had problems with the beach here before this project started, and the city was certainly a great partner in trying to address those as we waited for this project. So thanks again, Mayor Hudson.
Well, thank you, Josh. And it's true. Collaboration, communication, and coordination. That's what we did, the city of Fort Pierce and the county. And the Army Corps of Engineers, I can't tell you how grateful we are. I've been coming to this beach since I was a child. And believe me, that was a long time ago. And one of the things, in addition to this inlet being man-made and over 100 years old, it's the shortest, the straightest, and a wonderful deep water inlet, a favorite of boaters. This beach is a favorite. The quality of our life in Fort Pierce centers around this corner right here where the Atlantic Ocean meets the inlet and goes into the Indian River. It's very important, and I'm glad that you recognize how important it is for our quality of life, for our entertainment, for our tourism, for our protection. I'd like to thank our city commissioners, particularly Michael Broderick and all the others who came over here and worked during the emergency period of this, and also our city manager, Richard Chess, who is here, and I'd like to introduce him, Richard Chess, and Devashay Johnson, who is here from the city of Fort Pierce. So this was about saving city assets, and I'm so very grateful that they did. I know there are plans in the works so that we can reduce this from happening again. But I would like to just tell you that the people that live over here take care of this beach. They volunteer many, many hours all year long to clean up the trash that people leave. And we try to encourage people, take your trash home or put your trash away. And one of the things that I have noticed is we're making a difference because people are starting to take care of this wonderful asset. I say that Jetty Park is the most beautiful spot in St. Lucie County. And I really do appreciate everybody who has worked so hard to keep it. You know, the military was here during World War I and trained the soldiers and sailors who would storm the beaches of Normandy. So we played a big part right here on this beach, saving Europe and saving our country in World War II. So we appreciate very, very much everything that's done to preserve the history of Jetty Park, the beauty of Jetty Park, and the ability of us to enjoy this wonderful natural asset that we're so lucky to live in paradise. I say Fort Pierce is one of the most beautiful spots on the East Coast. So thank you all for all your hard work.
Thank you, Linda. At this time, I just would like to recognize a few other folks. I'd like to recognize my team, James Beams and Gary Franklin in the back. A lot of this stuff doesn't take place unless we have boots on the ground. We have our consultants here, Taylor Engineering and Coastal Tech, who help us make sure that all these things that happen are in conjunction with our permits. And then I also wanted to thank my man, project manager, Jim, who is he's the best project manager that I've had at the Corps of Engineers, and I really hope that everyone recognizes how much he does to make sure that this project happens. So thank you, Jim. All right, now we're going to go ahead and cut the ribbon. So Commissioner Jamie Fowler, James Clasby, if you'd like to come up. I also, while we're preparing, I'd want to just go ahead and say a thank you to County Administrator George Landry for all his support for our projects. It's been a great testament to our efficiency moving through this project, and also wanted to thank Manson Construction for all their efforts to continue to finish this beach. So thank you, everyone.
3, 2, 1, cut it.